Okay, I am here to give you guys a little bit of information on the new Ohio constitutional carry law that is now passed. This was introduced as Senate Bill 215, and it was just signed not too long ago, and it's going to go into effect June 13th of 2022. So, I'm not an attorney. I just teach concealed carry classes, and I'm a firearms instructor. I was a law enforcement officer for 8 years and did some Army stuff. But I'm not an expert on the law. I just used to enforce it and hopefully know what I can and can't do as a concealed carry holder. So that's what I'm making this video for. I just want to give a disclaimer. I'm not an attorney, so I'm not an expert on this stuff, but I probably know more about it than your average person. That being said, I have a print off from the Buckeye Firearms Association website. They did a nice article on the new bill that passed. It's now law, like Senate Bill 215. And I'm going to go down through this article that I printed off. And I'm just going to go through and read it out, basically, so you guys have a good idea of what you can and can't do with the new constitutional carry. So first off, if you're not familiar with what constitutional carry is, basically it gets rid of the need for a concealed carry permit in whatever jurisdiction it's in. So in Ohio, for however many years, you've had to get a concealed carry permit to be able to carry a handgun concealed on your person or in your vehicle. Now, Ohio, as long as I've known, I'm only in my 30s, but as long as I've known, Ohio's always been a open carry state, so you can open carry handguns. But if you want to conceal that handgun, put a garment over top of it, you have to have a permit, because then it's concealed. If you do that without a permit, it's a felony. So, with this being passed, you are no longer going to be required to get that concealed carry permit. There's still benefits to getting your concealed carry permit, and I'm going to cover some of those things too, but I want to read through for you people that may or may not have your permit, that want to know what you can and can't do. And first off, I want to let you know, this is not in effect yet. So if you're carrying a pistol right now and you don't have a concealed carry permit, it's illegal. You have to wait until the law goes into effect, which I said is June 13th of 2022. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kick this off. So, the first paragraph I have here, Ohio's concealed handgun license, CHL, will become optional. If you are currently qualified by law to obtain a concealed handgun license and carry concealed, you will be able to carry concealed handgun without a license beginning on June 13th. Other than school zones where federal law still requires a CHL, nothing changes regarding who can carry, what you can carry, a handgun. You can't carry a long gun, still has to be a handgun. Or where you can carry. The same rights and responsibilities apply whether you have a concealed handgun license or not. So I think it's interesting them talking about the school zones. So it kind of sounds like, from reading this, that you can't carry in a school zone unless you have a concealed carry permit. And if you're not familiar with what that is now in Ohio, as of this time right now, it's early April of 2022 when I'm making this video. As of right now, you can have a handgun on school premises if you leave the handgun in the vehicle. So you're not allowed to exit your vehicle with the handgun on your person. It has to be locked inside the vehicle, and the vehicle has to be locked, and that's the only way. So laws have changed several years regarding that, but mainly it was to help parents to do school drop-off and things like that, and they might have to commute to work, and that way you can have your handgun on you. So it makes sense there. But anyway, from the way this reads, with the constitutional carry, you can't carry on the school zone unless you have a permit. So that's interesting. The second thing is, you will no longer be required to promptly inform. The current law says that if you're stopped by a law enforcement officer, you must promptly inform that officer that you're carrying a concealed handgun. In addition, you must inform every other officer you encounter. When the new law goes into effect, you will need to inform only when or if the officer asks you if you're carrying a handgun, and you're obligated to only inform if the officer asks first. So right now, the way the law is with your permit, if you engage with an officer verbally, you have to let them know right off the bat that you have a permit and you're carrying your handgun if you're carrying. So they're getting rid of that, and it's no longer going to be in effect. I can tell you from my time of being a law enforcement officer, it's just good to let them know, you know, if it's appropriate. Okay, so it just doesn't look like you're hiding anything, you know. I mean, if I get in a car accident or something like that, I'm gonna let them know I have it on me, especially if I need medical help and, you know, I have a handgun on me. That way they can secure it and take care of that for me while I'm getting treated or whatever's going on. So anyway, that's changing. In Ohio, you will no longer be required to carry the concealed handgun license if you choose to obtain a concealed handgun license. If I could talk here, you will no longer be required to carry the physical license on your person while carrying a handgun. However, other states may still require you to have your license with you. Here are 2 references for further details on this new law. So they have some drop boxes here you could click on the website. Pretty self-explanatory. If you have a permit right now, the way the law is written, you have to have 2 forms of identification. You have to have your, let's just say your driver's license, like a government ID, and then your concealed handgun permit. So once this law goes into effect, because of constitutional carry, you're no longer required to carry that permit, which again makes sense. Will Ohio scrap the licensing system? No. The concealed handgun license will continue to be available for those who wish to have it. Those who travel outside of Ohio may want to have a valid license to carry legally in other states. The license simply becomes optional for those who carry a concealed handgun in Ohio. So, all right, now's a good time to talk about it. As far as having the actual permit itself, I think there's a few things that you would actually benefit from just to go ahead and get your permit. Now, you don't have to. With constitutional carry, you won't have to, which is awesome. I'm pretty hardcore Second Amendment guy, so I don't think you should have to buy a permit. I don't think you should be forced. One thing I did like about it, though, is it forced people to get training. Even if it was a little bit of training, they were still getting some training. And if you don't think you need training, you need training. And you need a lot of training. So, yeah, I mean, I think training is very important. So even if you are not ever going to get your concealed carry permit, you're going to carry constitutional carry, you should get some training. You should seek out some instructors that know what they're doing and take baby steps, take a basic class, and then do some more advanced stuff too. You don't have to be John Wick, but you need to know how to do basic stuff because this stuff doesn't come natural. So that being said, as far as things that I think you can benefit from, Ohio has reciprocity agreements with a lot of other states. And if you go on the Ohio Attorney General's website, you can click on the concealed carry tab down at the bottom of the page. You can go into that and they will give you a reciprocity map, which all that means is it's a map of the states that have agreements that recognize Ohio's concealed carry permit, and you can carry in those states with your Ohio concealed carry permit. So with constitutional carry passing, if you don't have a permit and you want to carry in like Tennessee or Kentucky or Georgia or, you know, those states, if somebody was wanting to drive from Ohio to Florida, because I'm from Ohio, there's a straight line. You can drive all the way down there on a Ohio concealed carry permit and you can carry concealed. Now, that being said, each state has different laws, so you should really know what those states' laws are before you drive through, which is important. But with the Ohio concealed carry permit, you can do that. If you don't have your permit and you just want to carry on constitutional carry, you can't carry outside of any state you can't carry outside of Ohio unless that state has constitutional carry as well and they recognize non-residents. So that alone is worth it. If you ever leave Ohio, it's worth it just to go ahead and get your permit so you can carry. And then you want to check that map and make sure you're carrying in a state that you're allowed to carry in. Another benefit, which isn't the end of the world, but it's kind of a plus, in Ohio right now, gun stores are allowed to use your concealed carry ID card when you're doing a firearms purchase. Instead of running the background check or waiting for it to come back, they can give you that gun in good faith based off having a current ID card, concealed carry ID card. So that's cool. So if you want to buy a new handgun or whatever, you show it to them, everything checks out, you leave and you don't have to sit and wait for that to come back. And then, okay, this is kind of my personal opinion. I think it looks good to have it, just because it shows that you have some competency, that you have passed some sort of training. So, you know, you got to figure you're carrying this thing to protect yourself from life or death situations, right? If you get involved in a shooting, hopefully none of us ever will, having that permit is going to be something good in court saying that you took some kind of a class and you were able to pass a written and a physical shooting test. So it shows that you have some competence other than somebody that just bought a handgun, shoved it in their pants, and carried it. So I think that will look good for you. And it's another form of training. It's just, even though it's basic stuff, it's important. And I have a lot of guys that's taken my classes, my basic concealed carry class, that were vets, former cops. And they still said they learned quite a few things in it because there's a lot of stuff in there. So it's totally worth it. Checking my time here. Okay. Will the concealed handgun license application process change in any way? No. The law does not change anything about the licensing process. The same application, fees, training, and other requirements will remain the same. This is important in order to maintain all the reciprocity agreements with other states. So Ohio is going to keep it the same, which is fine. Their standard's fine. I applied for an Ohio concealed handgun license and was denied. Can I now carry without a license? The answer is no. So if you've applied for a concealed carry permit and you was denied, you are not allowed to carry on constitutional carry. Nothing changes regarding who can legally carry a concealed handgun. You must still be a qualifying adult, meaning you're at least 21 years of age, not prohibited from possessing a firearm under state or federal law, not a fugitive from justice, etc. Refer to the concealed carry manual available at the Ohio Attorney General's website for more complete information. Same website I told you before, where the reciprocity agreement tabs are. You can click on the book and you can get the manual, which I always read through in my concealed carry classes too, to let everybody know what they can and can't do. Next question. Does this change how I carry in my vehicle? The answer is no. You'll be able to carry a concealed handgun in your car with or without a concealed handgun license. You do not have to unload it. You do not have to make the handgun visible. You can have loaded handguns and magazines on your person or stored anywhere in your vehicle. That only covers handguns, does not cover rifles, shotguns, or other firearms. So pretty cut and dry, handguns. Does this change how I transport long guns in my vehicle? It goes right with what I just said. No. Carrying concealed handguns with or without a license deals with loaded handguns only. Transporting rifles and shotguns remains the same, meaning you must transport them unloaded in a closed container with ammunition in a separate container or closed compartment in your trunk or in an area not accessible without leaving your vehicle. So the way you have to transport all long guns right now in Ohio. Can I carry in a bar, courthouse, church, etc.? Per federal law, you will still need a concealed handgun license to carry in a school zone in your vehicle. If you leave your vehicle, your handgun must be secured and locked in your vehicle. Otherwise, nothing changes about where you can or cannot carry concealed handgun. Areas that are currently no carry zones will remain no carry zones. Property owners will still be able to post no gun signs. So again, if you're just wanting to carry a concealed handgun, you've never had your permit, and you don't know the law on where you can and can't carry, you need to take a class so you know where you can and can't carry. You're never allowed to carry in courthouses, ever. It's a no carry zone. You can't carry in sheriff's offices or police departments or fire departments. Can't carry in those places. I'm just trying to think of other things. Bars are one. You can carry in Ohio bars with your concealed permit as we speak right now. The difference is you're not allowed to, well, the only thing is you're not allowed to drink at all. So if you take one drink, it's illegal. You can't have any alcohol in your system while you're carrying. So, I mean, if you're going to be a DD and you carry in there, you can do that right now. If the business doesn't have a sign posted. If the business has any kind of sign posted and the law says in a conspicuous location, so it just has to be up front where it's visible when you walk in or somewhere around there so you can see it. It doesn't have to say any specific wording by law. It just has to have a sign with a gun with an X through it or with one line through it showing that you cannot carry handguns in there or carry guns in there. And then if that's up, you can't carry. Even if you have a concealed carry permit, open carry, or new constitutional carry, you can't carry in there. So, I mean, and if you guys have questions, you guys can comment on this stuff, and I'll do my best to answer you. Can non-residents carry concealed without a license? And the answer is yes. While the rules for carrying concealed handgun remain the same with or without a license, there will be no residency requirement when this law goes into effect. Someone who is otherwise a qualifying adult may carry with or without a license, whether they reside in Ohio or another state. And then this next question is kind of same thing, but it asks, can you conceal rifles and shotguns now? Surprisingly, and this is like I said, an article from what did I say, Ohio Buckeye Farms Association. Sorry, guys. Okay, can you carry rifles and shotguns now? Surprisingly, someone did ask this question. We're not sure exactly how someone would carry concealed rifles and shotguns other than under a long trench coat. However, the answer is no. Ohio's concealed carry laws apply to handguns only. And the last question that I have here on this little article is, what about storing a handgun in your personal vehicle in an employer's parking lot? The new law does not change your right to carry to and from work and to store your handgun in your personally owned car or truck on company property. Your rights remain the same with or without a concealed handgun license. If you drive a company-owned vehicle, your employer may have different rules about whether you can carry or not. If you can carry or store a handgun in their vehicle. So, you know, if you work somewhere where they might not let you have it in the vehicle, that could be an issue. But if it's your own personal vehicle, you can still carry in there. Now, my phone's freezing up right now. I don't know if it's actually going to mess up when you're in, but I'm watching it here. So I'm going to wrap it up. These are the base questions off this article that I just read. Again, I'm going to try to dissect this a little more. If I find anything else out that's different, I will make a follow-up video and correct anything that I might have messed up. But right now, this is, like I said, a print off from the Buckeye Farms Association website, and the name of the article that I read off is Answers to Common Questions About Ohio's New Permitless Carry Law. And this was published by Dean Rieck, R-I-E-C-K, on Friday, March 18th, 2022. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I will probably end up doing another one of these with a friend that's an attorney and go into a little more depth with some stuff. But I did want to put something out so people have an idea. Just, hey, get some training. Even if it's the most basic stuff, get some training. There's so many little things to it that will make your life so much better, save you money, and make you safe. And it's all about being safe. That's what we're trying to do, is protect ourselves. So if you make a mistake and get yourself thrown in prison or die because you didn't know what you were doing, that didn't benefit you at all. You might as well have just not carried. So I think everybody that's mentally and physically competent to carry should carry if you want to. But, you know, we all need a little bit of training. So if you want training, look up your local instructors. There's instructors everywhere. I teach classes, of course, Hood's handgun training, but there's guys everywhere. So take like a basic concealed handgun class, take advanced handgun classes, defensive handgun classes, and practice. I mean, you can dry fire and practice in your house, but you need to have, you know, quality holster, quality belt, quality handgun, quality ammunition, and you need time on it to practice and make sure that you can actually use it. So again, I'm going to wrap this up because I've been talking for way too long, but if you guys have any questions, let me know, and I will catch you guys next time.